What's up YouTube, Sean Forney here, finally getting to do another video. It's been, I don't know, probably about a couple of months because I had a meniscus transplant. So luckily my knee is good. I just have to wear this sleeve. I no longer have to wear the brace and I'm no longer on my crutches now for about a week and a half. So that being said, now that I'm freed up, I want to do an update on my 1994 Mazda RX7 LS3 Swap. It's a stroker, Ford stroker, 416, and it is a beast. So that being said, wanted to do a quick update on that beautiful. Now again, from here on YouTube, it probably actually looks like it's in great shape. I will show you why. It is at least somewhat of a project car. I got a few things that I'm going to do to that car. So this is kind of the first video, and maybe, I'm not going to call it a series of videos, but a few videos on this car, where it stands now, where I'm going to take that car, and what I plan to do to that car to make it exactly what I'm expecting of it. For those that watch my other YouTube videos, you'll know that this is my third LS Swapped FD, probably my 6th or 7th FD total. And I always go back to the Mazda RX7. The FD chassis is probably one of my favorite chassis of all cars. I love the body lines. I love how light it is. I am a fan of the rotary engines, but I'm a bigger fan of LS, the LS platform. Hence why I've had my last three have all been LS swaps. My first one was an LS1. My second one was a Texas Speedbuilt 418. This one is a Ford stroker 416 LS3. Very little miles on it. So that being said, this car I bought with the intentions on making it perfect. So I've kind of been chasing that perfect FD chassis, if you want to call it that. My other one that I did a video on that was an LS swap, the Texas Speed LS, it just had some things that I didn't want to change on the car. It wasn't necessarily the perfect chassis for me, so I sold it. It's had it changed hands a couple times, but it's got a really good drivetrain in it. Now this car doesn't have as many things that I want to do to it to make it my perfect suitable chassis, but I still have things to make it perfect. So this video is that video on what I plan to do to the car. We'll start it up, let you listen to it, and let you know where it goes from this point forward. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I have several videos that I'll be doing over the next week. Finally, now that I'm able to walk and I don't have to hobble around on crutches, it's easy for me to hold the camera. So stay tuned. Again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much. So here she is. Again, from this distance, I don't know, 20 feet, the car actually looks good. This is a 1994 chassis. And it has 85-ish thousand original miles on the chassis, clean Carfax, no stories, no history, any of that nonsense. Again, so 94 and up are my favorite chassis. This is a sunroof car. But, again, my favorite chassis all around, hands down, the FD, even more so than my Supra, which usually is here, but it is currently at pure function, getting the tune updated, getting a flex fuel tune and all that good stuff. I hope to get it back here in a couple weeks. Now back to the FD. So again, the FD chassis, most of the time, if you do these swaps right, you're going to wind or land somewhere around 2,800 pounds, depending on the weight of the driver, maybe 2,900 pounds. This car has a Edelbrock throttle body. It's a Ford stroker LS3 Sandberg subframe, Sandberg V-mount radiator. It has the Sickie rear diff mount. It has a COS 410 rear differential. Again, this car I wound up getting, let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Right here next to the Love's diaper box. So with this car, I got a stack of receipts that go over everything that you could ever want with this car. the Carfax, the receipt for the engine, everything you could ever want. Everything on this car is new within the past 2,000 miles, which is why I bought this car. Everything, drivetrain, engine, transmission, rear end, all of that stuff is new within the past 2,000 miles. So it's a very, very good starting point, if you will. Now, as you get closer, you'll see the chassis has its bumps and bruises. For an 84,000 mile chassis, it looks like somebody left it out, and it's got pitting in the paint. It's got some paint cracking here, a little bit of bubbles back here. This rear duckbill spoiler's got some fading and stuff on it. The passenger side is the best side. But that being said, the car from 20 feet, it's a good 20 footer, maybe even a 30 footer. But the chassis is actually overall pretty clean body-wise. So I think it's a very, very good starting platform for me to make my suitable, desirable, ideal Mazda RX7 LS Swapped daily driver. Or not necessarily a daily driver, but something that you can drive, put a bunch of miles on, and never worry about, and get 30 miles per gallon as long as you stay out of the throttle. This car does have heat, air conditioning, power steering. The only thing it doesn't have is cruise control. So what am I going to do to this car? Well, paint, body, that's a given, okay? Clean up, tidy up the engine bay some. Get the suspension properly adjusted. Whenever I bought the car, it was sitting way too low in the front. I drove it one time, cracked the paint over here because it was sitting too low. So get the proper, it has Olin's coilovers, which are also brand new. Now it blows my mind. I have over $50,000 worth of receipts, and they put reps on the car, which doesn't make sense to me. Why are you going to spend $50,000 on a build and then go with replica wheels? That's beyond me. But my goal is to get a proper fitment in my favorite wheel of all time, which I do have a set sitting over here, but they're super fitment, the Work S1s. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go polished on this car. I might go charcoal with a polished lip. I don't know yet. But all of that being said, the car is a very, very good starting point, okay? I'm into the car at a very, very good value, so I don't have to worry about losing money on the car if I ever decide, or I'm not going to say if, I sell all of my cars, when I decide to sell it, when I am done with the car. So now, if you're a fellow Mazda RX7 FD chassis friend, you know one of the hardest things about all of these cars is the interior. Plastic pieces. I do have this cover, it's just not on right now. But the interior overall is in pretty good shape. Seats are in good shape. My only change that I will do inside is change out the carpet to black carpet. But it has all the plastics. I do have those covers. It has this rear cage, which I'm not a big fan of, but it is done decently well. Let's see, trunk. It's a little bit hard to open with this spoiler. It has an AccuPump oil system in it, but overall it's not bad. It could be a little bit cleaner around the carpet right there. Maybe, I don't even know, but I'm just being picky right now. But overall, the car is very, very clean, as you can tell. Now, what's also cool about this car, it was a factory option, or not a factory option, a dealer option rather, to have the VIN number etched in all the glass. This car does have it. It has all matching panels, all of that good stuff. The only thing I'm going to change in here is get rid of these, because these were for when the car was a turboed car, and, replace that with what should be there from the factory. 85,411 original miles on the chassis. This is the reason why I love a properly cammed LS. Again, those of you folks that are LS guys, that is why you put an LS in any car. Or you cam up any LS in a Camaro or a Corvette or whatever, or an LT engine. I don't care. You put a cam in it, an exhaust, it's good. This has JTR long tube headers to a custom 3-inch exhaust all the way back. But again, you know, the little odds and ends that I'm going to do with the car, there's a gentleman on the forums that makes this RX7 with the LSXX. So I will get that, paint the car, repair any body things that need to be repainted. It'll go back to its factory red color, which is important. I don't like changing colors on cars. I'll tidy up the engine bay a little bit, make it pretty, all that good stuff. Overall, it's a very nicely done swap. I forget the name of the shop that did it, but it is an overall nicely done swap. That being said, again, this car, we're going into the winter months, so that's where it'll spend most of its time is in a garage. So again, like I was just saying, the car is going to spend most of its time in a garage over the next, I don't know, we go into hibernation here in West Virginia about this time, November, daylight savings time. It's not fun. It starts to get cold and yucky. So this car will not be driven, because anybody that's driven an LS swap with roughly between 500 and 520 wheel horsepower, it's not fun to drive whenever the roads are cold, your tires are cold. They're actually dangerous. They're little rocket ships is exactly what they are. But, so the car will go into hibernation. First, it'll go through paint, body work, which is expected to take 4 to 6 weeks. Luckily, it's a local guy that does good work. He's gonna let me help with the prep work because I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I'm gonna do a little bit of the sanding and all that stuff. So if you don't mind and you want to, stay up to date with my LS3 FD Pursuit to Perfection is what I'm going to call it, over the next 3-ish, 4-ish months as we're in winter until spring comes. My goal with this car is by the time spring comes, it'll be a mint, super reliable, ultimate, beautiful driving car that has working AC, working heat. I'm 37 now, so working AC is very, very important to me on all of my cars. You know, the Supra is 800 horsepower, but you know what it has? Working AC, working power steering, working heat. 3 important things as you get older and start to realize that you like those little things in a car. So thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If there's something that you would like to see me do with this RX7 over the course of the next 4 months, now's the time to drop a comment below. If it's something that is easily, if I'm easily able to do it, I will continue to do it. I will also get this car up on a lift to show you guys what the underside looks like. So again, thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Everybody have a great evening.